Please review the disclosures. Nothing written, expressed, or said here should be looked at as investment advice or an admonition to buy, sell, or trade any security or financial instrument. The Lund Loop is for informational purposes only. Hey everybody, welcome to the daily update for Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. Happy Tuesday. We call it what? Taco Tuesday? I don't think we have anything for Tuesday. Anyway, hey, are you in the Discord? If you're not in the Discord and you're a paid Lund Loop subscriber, get in there. Say that fast, Lund Loop subscriber. It's tough to say. You're not getting your full value out of your subscription. So get in there. And if you're not a paid subscriber, become one. By the way, I'm going to just say this again. I don't know how many ways I could say this, but like, I do not manage money. I have no other services or deals or newsletter or I don't know, anything outside of the Lund Loop. I know people get hit up in Discord all the time. Now they're getting hit up on Substack, asking for money or to manage their money, but I don't do that. This is it. This is the Lund Loop. So if anyone approaches you outside of the Lund Loop, it ain't me. All right. So one of the reasons I hate doing daily updates during earnings season is, boom, stuff like this. Who knows what will be different at the point that you see this update. It's not so bad when you get things right after the close, but when you have someone like Apple that reports 40 minutes after, whatever, who knows what will change. So got a little bit of a fall here in Netflix, 6%. Is it that big of a deal? Let's see, 1163. Yeah, it's still above this pivot area. And I'm not sure that Netflix is that much of an impact. I mean, if we look at the futures, let's see, what are they doing here? I'm getting knocked down a bit. I don't think it's. I looked at some of the other names out there. They're not really moving. Some of the tech names, right? Apple's not doing anything. Amazon's not doing anything. So we'll see. We'll see what happens tomorrow. So let's talk about some happier things. Speaking of Amazon, I posted this in the Discord on Sunday. A little write up on what was going on with Amazon. I mentioned on Friday that I was buying options in Bros, options in Amazon, options in NVIDIA and Microsoft. Posted that in the Discord. And what's happened since? Well, we've had a nice 2-day pop here in Amazon. It went all the way from 212 to a high of 223 today. Why was I looking at this? Because we were right at the 200-day moving average. It looked like it was a spot where it could bounce. So got a nice move. What did I do today? I trimmed twice. I posted this in the Discord. I trimmed once about here for 50%, 50 or 75%, one or the other on the options, and then either 75 or 100% on the second batch. Why? Because we're coming into the 50. And I said in the Discord, I said, probably goes higher, but we're coming into the 50 and we've got earnings next week, which might keep a cap on this, but it's been a nice move. What else? Bros. That's another one I bought some options on Friday. I got a nice pop here, right? From 54 up to 58. Again, I think got 75% and 100% on two tranches here. Why? We're right at the 50. And I said probably goes higher. But again, we've got earnings coming up on this. Actually, let's see, when are these? So earnings on this are 2 weeks away. But I felt like the 50 might be a limiter. Plus, it's had a pretty big run. So point is, a couple nice little trades there you could have been a part of. And also, what's nice about the Amazon trade, one of the things that sucks when you put something on the daily is if it just gaps up, right? And so this one actually gave you a pretty good spot right here. I mean, it would have been tough to get into it here, but I think this was a very, very easy spot to get in, like right here, when it recaptures these moving averages. And this is a reminder, this is something I was talking about yesterday on Spaces. The rubber really meets the road in terms of whether you can be a consistently profitable trader in between the lines. And what do I mean by that? Well, let me tell you. Let's go back to replay mode here. Can I do replay mode on when I'm on my laptop? I can't. So let's just pull the chart up as it looked when I posted it in the Discord. Anybody can put a chart up. All right, here's a chart. Here's my analysis of the chart. All right, here's another one. Here's Bros. There's my analysis of the chart. Big whoop, right? The hard part is not putting up a daily chart. The hard part is how do you get into this chart? How do you make money, right? How do you translate that setup into money? Now, I've got 100 videos in the Deconstructing a Trade library on all sorts of topics. There's a ton of them about entries, specific entries. In fact, if you're a paid subscriber, you can look at some of the videos that are attached to the bottom of this email, and it will talk to you about it. Because here's the thing. What do? Do you buy here, like at the close of the day? Well, okay. Then you have to take overnight risk. And in the case of this chart, you had to take weekend risk. So do you wait to buy on Monday? Well, what if the stock just gaps and goes, right? So those are two tough choices. Now, the choice to buy it at the end of the day is not as tough when the stock is in a better mode like this. I mean, this is right on the 200, so it could gap down as easily as it could gap up. When you're just in like power mode like this, maybe you take a little bit more overnight risk. Maybe you're willing to take weekend risk. But assuming we're in this scenario, that's the tough part. So the real move in this stock, the best move that you could have made in this stock, or in this case, was to find the turn intraday, right? Get a position intraday, and then you can lighten up a little bit of it towards the end of the day, give yourself some cushion. But again, this is the tough part about trading. When I was first on Twitter in, 2010, nobody was posting charts. Now everybody posts charts. Everybody's a technical analyst expert, right? They can post a gazillion charts. Look, Microsoft looks good. How do you get into Microsoft, right? That's the hard part. In the case of in the case of Amazon, how you would have got into it is like that's a spot. Like if you didn't want to buy it overnight here, right? You wait for a spot here. That's how you do it. But it's tough, right? It takes a lot of practice. The other thing we talked about yesterday was not buying stocks right at their highs, because what if we get an inside day? What if we get a consolidation day? And what do you know? There it is. There's that inside consolidation day. Okay. But some people, when we were down in this part of the day, maybe they sold out if they bought up here. And what happens if tomorrow we just ramp to the sky? They're going to go, I sold out, right? It's all about timing. It's all about putting the daily charts in alignment with the intraday charts, even the weekly charts. So anyway, all right, speaking of indexes, let's go through the indexes, and then we'll go through the whole smash, the macros and the watch list changes.